We passed the COVID bill, everybody. We got it. Checks are coming out. Did we get everything we wanted? Absolutely not. But did we get things that are going to change people's lives? Absolutely yes. So if you are an adult that makes $75,000 or less as an individual, as a married couple up to $150K, I believe, then you will be getting a stimulus check. If you make more than $80K, you will not be receiving a stimulus check. Now, again, this was a huge point of contention for us. What did we do to fight back? We said, okay, you know what? If you're gonna try to take this away from people, which we don't agree with, what we demand is that the first $10,200 in unemployment income that people got in 2020 should be tax-free. And so we won that. Even though they brought it and they said $1,400, what we pushed back with was, okay, if you're gonna do that, then we need to include dependents and we need to include adult dependents. So while we wanted it to be $2K for all, what we were able to do is that even though it was $1,400, we were able to bring a lot of people from $0 to $1,400. So everything from bun in the oven to 17 years old, you will get recurring checks this year starting 90 days from now. Between the time you start getting your recurring checks and the end of the year, you will get $3,000 per child above the age of 6 and up to the age of 17. And if you have a child 6 or under, it is $3,600. Unemployment was set to expire like 3 days from now. We have extended it $300 every week through September. If you lost a loved one due to the COVID-19 pandemic last year, and you incurred funeral expenses, burial expenses, any expense for putting your loved one to rest, we will pay you back up to $7,000 in expenses. In this bill, if you have COBRA, it will be paid for, your premium will be paid for 100% until about September. So you don't need to pay COBRA anymore. If you get your health insurance off the exchange, there are really important changes that mean you will pay less money and that it will not be as expensive for you. The federal government is also going to cover a larger share of Medicaid expenses for states that haven't expanded through the ACA. If your state has been cutting back services, if they are not hiring firefighters, if they stopped construction on bridges, if your school is struggling to reopen because they aren't able to make the infrastructure investments necessary, there is money here to help states not cut off their services or restart their services and not have to lay off a ton of people. We all want schools to reopen, but we don't want to put people at risk. And so what this allows us to do is create a path that is as safe as we can make it to help schools reopen safely. And there's no mandate in this bill, so it's still up to your community and leadership. $28 billion in grants for restaurants, free money. Because we know that hospitality, restaurants, bars, venues got hit especially hard during the pandemic. And so they're on top of PPP, there's extra relief targeted to hospitality. And as someone who comes from the hospitality world, that worked in waitressing and bartending and venues, it's just, it's really close to our hearts, especially in New York City. So we're really, really excited to have that provision included in the bill. Now, before everyone gets ahead of themselves, there is not student loan cancellation in this bill, but there is a provision that feels like an Easter egg, which I think gives us some hope. There is a tax provision tucked away that says if your student loans get canceled, that cancellation, you don't have to pay taxes on that cancellation. There's no student debt cancellation in the bill. So this provision that's tucked in, I think tells us, if you care about student debt cancellation, it's go time for you. You need to mobilize, and now is the time to organize, to create the political pressure, because in there, tucked away, is almost like a little, someone's paving the path. There's a lot of stuff that there is left to be desired, that we need to build power to get. But the way that we build power is by acknowledging our achievements along the way, hype ourselves up, and then move on to continue on to the next fight. Because we got a lot of fight ahead. We have a lot of work ahead, but this is major, major.